Secret ceremonies, sworn blood oaths of loyalty, threats to possible witnesses. These are the time-tested methods of dangerous criminals working hard not to get caught.
Sounds like it's right out of a movie. Just some of the accusations in a major mob bust this evening. Authorities say Philly's La Cosa Nostra crime family used violence and threats in their illegal money-making operations. Our Dave Stratweiser in the newsroom. You broke this story at about 6:45 this morning, Dave. This was a major move by the feds today to bring down 13 defendants.
Thomas, a major move taking down mob boss Joe Legambi and his top lieutenants, but there are no mob murders charged in this indictment, so we'll have to wait and see what the impact is. In the meantime, this has the local mob scrambling. Who got hurt here and who becomes acting boss? I spoke with my partner on Mob Talk, George Anastasia. George, let's get right to the heart of the matter. Mob boss Joe Legambi in jail, mob underboss Anthony Staino in jail, mob underboss Marty Angelina in jail, and George Borghese's been in jail. He stays in jail. What's the impact on the local mob?
Well, what you have is the hierarchy of the Legambi organization. You add Mousy Massimino to this. He's in jail as well. You've got a vacuum. Who's running the organization? These guys were the hierarchy. These guys were the decision makers. Now who's going to make the decisions?
Okay, let's move over here if we can. The guys who just got out of jail, former mob boss Joey Merlino in a halfway house in Florida, mob underboss Stephen Mazzone just got out of jail, off probation. John Changlini, mob captain, just got out of jail, off probation. Who fills the void for those guys?
Well, I think all three of these guys could fill the void if they were of a mind. And my understanding is Legambi wanted Changlini to take over. I think Joey wants Mazzone to take over. But I don't see a conflict between Mazzone and Changlini. Both of them are here in Philadelphia. Both are experienced. And I think what you'll see is these guys running an organization with this guy calling the shots from Florida, if that's the way that they want it to work.
All right, one big happy family here.
I don't think there's any problems there.
Okay, back up over here if you can. One big unhappy family right now here. How big of an impact does this have? I mean, we're talking about possibly 20 years in jail, but as little as 5 years in jail. What does it do to these guys?
Well, Legambi's 71 years old. A 10, 15-year sentence is a life sentence for him, so it's a serious charge no matter how it impacts anybody else. Angelina's done a lot of time. He's looking at serious time. This, I think, is the wild card, George Borghese. He expected to come out to a halfway house in January. Now that's obviously not going to happen. How does he react to the fact that he might be looking at, if convicted, 7, 8, 10, 12 more years?
All right. Do they approach him to cooperate, and would he cooperate?
I think they'd be foolish not to approach him. The question, would he, is a whole other thing. I mean, we both know this guy. He's kind of a volatile guy. I, in my heart, can't see him doing that. But I think that's one of the questions that sits out there.
Joe Santaguida said today, a stand-up guy. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Okay, all of the defendants were ordered held without bail today for the next 3 days while the feds try to argue that they should stay in jail until their trial. Wiretaps, at least one undercover agent on this case. We'll have to see if there are any other mob cooperators in the fold, or do any wise guys cut a deal here, Thomas, and talk.
This info is just fascinating. I know there are about 4 or 5 unsolved mob cases out there, hits. None charged in this indictment. I would imagine we're going to see more charges.
Well, that's the interesting thing here. I think that's the ultimate goal for the feds. It may take another mob snitch coming forward for that to happen. We'll see if it happens. Then definitely more charges and more familiar names could surface.
We will see. Dave Stratweiser in the newsroom tonight. Dave, thank you. Just a horrible story here.